Once again here on Talkin Fight from our boxing headquarters here in Toronto, Canada. And today let's go through some of the news headlines, specifically regarding starting right off the bat with a fellow Canadian, Ryan Rozicki, who boxes out of Nova Scotia. You might not have heard about him, but you will soon. WBC mandatory cruiserweight title challenger Ryan Rozicki. He's 20-1, 19 knockouts. Hailing from Sydney, Nova Scotia, Canada, is fresh off his first round knockout of Olanewaju Durandula last month. That victory now sets the stage for a showdown with current WBC cruiserweight world champion Norer Mikhailjan, 27-2, by the way, 12 knockouts. So, in a recent interview with FightNews.com, he had a chance to speak about these upcoming fights and his career. After being congratulated, he says, "Thank you. It could have been King Kong across from me that night, and I was going to get the knockout. Anyone who steps in the ring with me is walking dead. As far as I'm concerned, and Durandula is lucky the ref stopped when he did, because I was ready to fight in there until the death. So no, not surprised. Just give me some reassurance." So what did it mean to have his local crowd who came out to support him in that big fight? Fighting in front of my hometown is so special for me, my family, my friends. I grew up, they were all there to support me, and my fans behind me. There's nothing like it. The energy there that night was unbelievable. Now, what does he know about his WBC Cruiserweight World Champ? "I know everything that I could possibly know, from the first Cruiserweight champion to the last. Holyfield, Bellew, Usyk, we're all boxing greats and held the WBC Cruiserweight World title. The green belt, WBC, is the most prestigious belt in boxing, and I'm honored to be on the level with these boxing greats I just mentioned." So there you go. Some news out of Nova Scotia from great fighter Ryan Rozicki. Look out for his name in the future. Speaking of names, Gervonta Tank Davis is no longer the regular WBA lightweight champion. With Devin Haney giving up super designation, Tank, who has recently changed his name to Abdul Wahid, is now the sole WBA 135-pound king, and he's expected to headline PBC's March pay-per-view card on Amazon Prime. Another name in the news, Martin McCauley, is now the WBA number one rated heavyweight. Previous number one, Deontay Wilder, has dropped completely after his loss to Joseph Parker. WBA has officially changed the name of the 201 to 224-pound division to Bridgerweight. The division was initially dubbed Super Cruiserweight in the WBA rankings. And it looks like WBC Super Lightweight champion Devin Haney may defend against Ryan Garcia next. Garcia against WBA champ Rolly Romero is on the back burner at the moment, it would seem. See if we have some results out of Japan. Yes, we do. Ioka demolishes Perez, and he keeps his WBA 115-pound belt. WBC champ Higa finishes WBC number 5 Navaporn. And WBC number 12 Tatsumi halts WBA number 15 Ventura. Some good fighting out of Japan. Written by our good friend Joe Kazumi, former 13 times amateur national champion, WBC number 12, Hayato Tatsumi, 4-0 now. Impressively swarmed over previously unbeaten WBA number 15 feather Luis Ventura, 11-1 now, from the Dominican Republic, and dropping him with a vicious left hook and decking him again to score a fine technical knockout at 2 minutes 14 seconds of the third round in a scheduled 10-rounder taking place in Tokyo on Sunday. So good to hear boxing taking place during a week that was pretty slow for the rest of the boxing world, I must say. But let's get on to the news and headlines that I see happening all around us. It seems like Eddie Hearn is back at it in the new year. Eddie Hearn says for former WBA super middleweight champ Callum Smith will knock out IBF WBC WBO light heavyweight champ Artur Beterbiev on January 13th when they meet in Quebec, Canada. Hearn really believes in the 33-year-old, and boy, he must. And he's not giving up on his fighter after his rather terrible performances against Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder It sounds like wishful thinking on Hearn's part, as he's got to know what Smith is up against facing Beterbiev. Smith can't afford to lose this fight, as he's been spinning his wheels since losing his WBA 168-pound title in 2020, courtesy of BoxingNews24.com. It'll be interesting to see if Hearn gives up on Smith afterward or keeps him in his matchroom company. He'll still be young enough to grab one of the belts after the soon-to-be 39-year-old Beterbiev retires. A win for the 33-year-old Smith would bring him back, erasing the image fans have burned in their minds about him looking scared, cowering against the ropes, while Canelo Alvarez beat the daylights out of him in their fight back in December 2020. But Hearn is excited about the Beterbiev-Smith fight. Already managing Smith, 29-1, by the way, 21 knockouts, destroying the previously unbeaten 3-belt 175-pound champ Beterbiev, 19-0, 19 knockouts. So he's already imagining that victory. If Smith wins, a fight for the undisputed championship against WBA 175-pound champion Dimitri Bivol would be possible this year. Hearn hasn't said anything about the Saudis being interested in staging a fight between Bivol and Smith for the undisputed championship, but that is a possibility. So anyway, this is what Mr. Hearn said. I can see him knocking out Artur Beterbiev cold in Quebec. Taking place January 13th. Smith is a perfect opponent for Beterbiev to destroy for his 20th consecutive knockout. Beterbiev is at his best when he's facing guys who try to slug with him, and Smith will make his job easier if he tries to trade power shots. Unfortunately for Smith, he doesn't know how to box, so he'll have to try and best and hope that Beterbiev has gotten old since his last fight in January 2023, a year ago. People give him a good chance in that fight, and I do. Hearn continues about Callum. I really believe Callum Smith will beat Beterbiev and become the unified light heavyweight world champion and two-division world champion as well. I can't wait to be there. It's one of those nights where you get a victory over there, and it's one you'll really remember. Beterbiev, just started showing a few signs. I think he can be hurt, but a big danger, and Callum has to get it spot on, but I believe he'll do it. Good luck. All right. Oh, this is interesting. Speaking of Eddie Hearn. So let's have a look at Zhelei Zhang and Anthony Joshua and whether that may be a possible matchup to be made. Let's have a look here. It's true, according to boxing247.com, it's true. A fight between Zhang and Joshua would be massive in either China, the UK, or the Middle East. China, with its colossal Birds Nest Stadium, would be hosting a monster event. Well, it's entirely possible Joshua Zhang would sell out Wembley. And of course, the powerful money men in Saudi Arabia can seemingly make any big fight they want right about now. Wherever it were held, Joshua versus Zhang would pull in huge numbers, both at the gate and on TV. But is this fight too risky for Joshua? Does Joshua prefer that talked of fight with Hrgovic for the expected to be vacated IBF heavyweight belt? The Zhang-Joshua fight might be a far more enticing and far bigger commercial fight than a Joshua-Hrgovic fight. But it could be argued how the latter carries the least risk and the most reward of the two fights. If you were AJ, which fight would you want? Eddie Hearn has said Joshua could be back in action in March, and he did mention Zhang as one of the possible opponents. So let's see which fight Joshua, the biggest cash cow of the heavyweight division, picks for his next Rumble. Who do you think? Let's have a quick look at what ESPN deem as the 5 best fighters to watch in 2024, according to Mike Coppinger, great writer. We are often quoting him. Let's have a look here. Boxing's pound for pound best delivered some worthy performances in 2023. Artur Beterbiev, just mentioned, kicked off the campaign by keeping his perfect knockout ratio intact with a thrilling TKO defeat of Anthony Yarde to retain 3 lightweight heavyweight titles, which we just mentioned. 3 months later, a well-placed body shot by Gervonta Davis stopped Ryan Garcia in the biggest commercial fight. And in July, Naona Inoue dominated Stephen Fulton in the 122-pound debut and displayed his generational talent before unifying titles to become undisputed champ in a second division with another impressive knockout win over Marlon Tapalas That was on December 26th. And Devin Haney won every round and even dropped Regis Progress to become 2 division champ on December 9th. The best performance of all, however, he says, belonged to Terence Crawford, who dismantled Errol Spence Jr. in a tour de force victory to cement welterweight supremacy. What about all the fighters that just sit outside of ESPN's pound for pound top 10? There are many boxers with genuine opportunity to inch closer to that recognition in 2024. Here are 5 such boxers which he believes, Mike Coppinger believes, are worth viewing in 2024 and in no particular order. Wow. Here's a guy who scored a great victory over in that redemption show in Saudi Arabia. Zhelei Zhang. He's now 24-0, 19 knockouts, fighting in that aforementioned cruiserweight division. Junto Nakatani, 26-0, 19 knockouts, fighting in the bantamweight division out of Japan. Very good. Subriel Mataes, 20-1, 20 knockouts, IBF junior welterweight champion. There's a division that's shaping up. Someone who we've mentioned really a lot this past year, Tim Sayu, 24-0, 17 knockouts, WBO junior middleweight champion. Without a doubt, things are moving up fast for him. Jaron Boots Ennis, 31-0, 28 knockouts, IBF interim welterweight champion. Fighting out of Philadelphia, Tim Witherspoon's hometown. And that, my friends, wraps up our top 5, according to Mike Coppinger at ESPN. What do you think? Give me your comments below. Boxing's best of 2023. I'd also like to see your comments, because I just mentioned a few. Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Devin Haney, Beterbiev, Nayana Inoue. Who we got? All right, one last thing, kind of a funny little headline. I'm not going to read the story, but the headline's kind of funny. It is in the vein of Can You Guess? Can you guess the name of the number 1 heavyweight who opens a $125,000 GoFundMe after his Saudi Arabia win? Okay. Yes. Martin Bakole, who overtook Deontay Wilder in the WBA rankings after the Bronze Bomber lost to Joseph Parker, has entered the new year with a plea to his fans. Martin Bakole has opened a GoFundMe page. Christ. Entitled, "Help Me to Achieve My Dream of Becoming World Champ." Bakole seeks $125,000 for the rest of his journey. However, many question the move after Bakole fought in Saudi Arabia on October 28th. The Scottish-based Congan was part of the lucrative Fury versus Ngannou bill topped by 2 superstars at combat. This led fans to predict Bakole may have been hacked. The page reads, "Hi, my name is Martin Bakole. I'm asking my beloved sisters and brothers to help. If there's no hack, which is not confirmed as of the early hours of today, the comments section and donations won't be good reading for Bakole and his team. In addition, the page hasn't taken off. There was only $40 pledged in the first few hours of the page going live. Oh my God, that's too funny. It's the stuff movies are made of. All right. Thanks very much for joining me. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you tomorrow again, 11 a.m. Eastern time, for another segment of Boxing News Today. Thanks very much again for joining me.